All right, I am live. I'm live. Let me type this in before we get started. I should just keep this on deck. And let me pin this. And let me also, you know what kind of poll do I want to do? Let's see. Maybe we'll do something. Okay. I'm writing the poll right now. So if you're joining now, I'm just typing in the poll. Ooh, no, this is, I wish we had more than 4 options. What is another drink? I'm trying to think. You know what? Oh, I can't think of that. Let me Google real quick. I want to choose a popular option, not something that I'm just going to pick. You know what? Hold on. I'm thinking. I'm loading. I'm loading. Oh, I got it. Okay, I can't believe I forgot. It's such an easy option. All right. Started the poll. What is the Cash App and what are the donation amounts? The Cash App should be AstroTarot. Hold on. Let me check. Make sure I know my own Cash App here. Pause that. And Cash App should be in the description. It is AstroTarotResearch, $5 for yes or no, and $10 for detailed readings. Ooh, we already have a vote. Lemonade. Lemonade's a good choice. I had to pick vague options. So, and welcome everyone. Doing a Thursday live. If you missed the post, it's because I'm out of town this weekend. This is a scheduled live. This is not the pop-up like I would normally like to do during the week. But since I'm out of town and out of time technically, then we are here for the scheduled live for Thursday. So I have the poll ready for you guys. Wow, that looks amazing on you, Black Cat Energy. Thank you. I really appreciated that. It was very last minute. I really enjoy the compliment, Kiva. But as I was saying, if I can pop up this weekend, I will, but I'm not sure if I will be able to. I'll be bringing my laptop with me, but we'll see. I do have a lot of schoolwork. It's back in session. So, and let me know what you guys think of the latest reading about the message from your future self. This month is supposed to be urgent messages. And so that is where we are when it comes to that. Hopefully you enjoyed this month's theme. And let me know how things have been. I feel like we are really into that Jupiterian energy, that Jupiterian Cancer energy, Aries, Saturn's in Aries, Neptune's in Aries, and soon next month on July 7th, I believe, Uranus will be going into Gemini. So that'll be very interesting. I was just looking up things that happened when Uranus went into Gemini the few times, like common themes, and I wrote it in my notes. Let me get my notes because I don't want to get this wrong. I wrote a lot of notes though, so it may take me a minute. Oh, Chiron sent one. Oh, I see that Kai sent one for a reading. Last reading was very good. I felt reassured about the future. Well, feel reassured. I think everything's going to work out for you, Kiva. It's Chiron. Okay. Oh, that makes sense. Kai and Iron. Okay. Chiron. Or is it, am I saying that right? Like the Chiron symbol. Okay, good. I saw that you sent for a reading. I think good things will be in all of our futures. I think everyone who generally visits the channel consistently has shown that they're very dedicated to bringing positivity into their lives. So, with that type of mindset, it's hard for things not to work out. Even if there are like rough patches and, rainy days, if you have the right mindset and you're dedicated to, positivity in your life, I truly believe that it can happen. But Chiron, let me know your question. Oh, it's an ad. Okay. I thought I turned those off. I gotta figure out how to turn those off. I think you could just hit no ads. I put conservative so it wouldn't pop up so much, but I'll probably just turn them off from now on because I can't stand them either. YouTube has way too many ads now. And I'll just put them on after the fact. So that way during the lives, you guys don't have a big ad pop up while I'm talking. I think that's so irritating. Okay, I'm glad you can see me. I'm glad you can see me now. Oh, perfect. I was just asking what your question was. And then I did want to talk about briefly Uranus and Gemini. You guys, let me know how your weekend is going or going to go. It's Thursday for me, so it's like the weekend for me because I don't work Fridays, but I know the weekend's coming up. So if you guys have any plans, let me know. Maybe I can steal some of them and do some of things myself. It's summertime, and so I want to get back outside. It wouldn't surprise me if YouTube introduces ads to watch ads. I mean, you're probably right, to be completely honest. You are probably absolutely right. I think YouTube actually sent us out an email that was like, oh, we're going to change the ad system. I need a little confidence boost with my career path. I'm unemployed right now and feeling down. Oh, I'm sorry, Chiron. I have definitely been there, been in that space of unemployment. It's tough. It puts you in such a negative headspace. But just know that you are valuable, even if right now your value is not being acknowledged. Okay. But let's see. Do you want me to pull cards for that? Like any sort of like news that's coming, positive news that's coming your way for your career? Okay. Let's see. Let's see what the cards have to say for Chiron. Oh, it's a three-way split. Iced tea, smoothies, lemonade. I think I would choose smoothies, but I do like a lavender matcha, specifically lavender matcha. Oh, card fell out. Okay, we have some good news coming. We have the 10 of Cups. So that is definitely good news here when it comes to your career. Let's pull some more cards before we get the full message. We have the Five of Cups. I think so too. The cards are pretty cute. I love a cute deck. We have the Seven of Wands, but it would be reversed following these cups here. And we have the 10 of Swords. So let's start off here. I think these are the perfect cards because they kind of like represent your state in a way. We got this 5 here, 5 of Cups, showing that you've left something behind, left a place that, you know, may have felt comfortable, but wasn't exactly the right fit for you. The Seven of Wands reversed, and the 10 of Swords, it's really speaking more, I think, to your state right now where you feel like, you don't have that much fight in you anymore. You're worried that you may not find a place that you belong, a place that appreciates you, a place that feels comfortable. And it's really talking about just feeling a little bit defeated. So let's get more into what good things are coming because it's focusing more so on the here and now and leaving behind this place that felt like maybe you had some really some good coworkers that you really enjoyed, or maybe it was the routine of it. But the cards, I would say with the Seven of Wands reverse, the cards are definitely saying this was a place that had a glass ceiling, like it was not going to be beneficial in the long run, even if you had stayed there. We got the Eight of Swords. Ooh, that means you're going to be stepping out of this place of mental funk. Eight of Swords and the King of Swords. So you're going to soon step out of this place of this mental funk where you feel trapped, where you feel like you can't get to the place where you want to be employed or get the jobs that you want to get. And you're going to start to see more options open up for you, because with the Eight of Swords, sometimes it's like, okay, we're stuck in a routine. We're stuck in a place where we feel as though there's no opportunities. Sometimes it's a bit of ourselves and sometimes it's external circumstances, but either way, the feeling is of being trapped by your situation. The King of Swords, though, I love this card because it shows that you are bossing up. You're just like, I'm going to get out of this headspace. I'm not going to say that it's impossible for me. I'm going to be able to find this job that really makes me feel like at home, makes me feel like this 10 of Cups situation, makes me feel like I like coming to work every day, or at least it's tolerable. It's not perfect, but it's something that I can stay with for the long term and I can see myself being in. So you're starting to get more strategic about finding the right job for you soon. And you're going to get out of this mental funk that you're in, this place of feeling like defeated, this place of feeling like it's not worth the effort, or your efforts aren't amounting to anything, or applying in not receiving responses is all you're ever going to get. You're going to get out of that space and you're going to start saying, okay, I'm going to be more strategic about how I'm going to apply for jobs, what I'm going to do, start thinking of different methods. Like certain people, they might make, what do you call those? Like instead of sending a normal resume, they might send out a PowerPoint, or instead of just sending out their resume, they look for the hiring managers and try to talk to them. They start to look for people who have worked at the job and ask them for their input, or ask them to give them a recommendation. Because when you give a recommendation for somebody to work at the company, normally if they get hired, you get some sort of bonus. So you're starting to be more strategic, or you will start to be more strategic soon about getting a job. And that's definitely going to lead you to a great place. Let me pull this card. This wants to come out. Oh, how did I know? The Chariot, 100%. It's going to be your own intelligence. It's going to be your own ability that is going to lead you to that place of victory. When we have this King of Swords, it's all about learning the best way to market yourself, learning the best people to talk to, and figuring out the best jobs that are going to recognize your worth, hire you for your skills, and be in a place where you can be employed. And one thing that I love about this deck is that we have no pinnacles. And so when we have no pinnacles, it's not like you're going to be employed for, a year or something like that. Pinnacles are pretty slow, but since we have a lot of water, we have a lot of fire, we have a lot of air, that's going to move a lot faster for you when it comes to finding this job. So once you're able to pick yourself back up again, and definitely give yourself space to feel whatever feelings that you need to feel, because having a job loss is definitely very, very hurtful and hard to deal with. But once you're able to get out of that space and remotivate yourself and start being strategic, you're going to get that job. It's not giving the exact timing, but it's not going to be, like I said, for a very long time. It's not going to take too long. And I want to know a little bit more about this next company. So I'm going to pull one more card. We have the Magician, highly communicative company, people who are probably on the front line of things, trying new things, being very innovative. Also a company that is going to more than likely invest in their own employees, just because when we talk about the Magician, we're talking about upskilling and being able to transform your abilities. And so this is a job that would invest in the people that they hire for sure. So keep that in mind about this next company. It sounds like they have a good amount of benefits when it comes to opportunities for career advancement, especially when we have the Magician who has the world in their hands. They can do whatever that they want to do. They can manifest the reality that they want to manifest. And so with this next job coming up, there really is no glass ceiling. There's plenty of opportunities for promotion and to be celebrated. And so I really feel like that is coming for you. But I want you to take the time to, feel what you need to feel, and then get yourself out of this 8 of Swords and 10 of Swords place, and try to do some nice things for yourself, because sometimes that can help. Don't beat yourself up. Don't feel like you're trapped. You're not trapped. The worst is over, or it will be over soon, and you really are going to get an amazing opportunity. Oh, hey, Sierra, how are you? Oh, and hey, NC. And I'm doing great, Sierra. It was definitely a wild week, but thank you, Chiron. I appreciate you as well. Oh, glad to hear you're doing good, Sierra. Hope you guys are all enjoying the weather. I know you guys are all from different places in the world. And yes, anyone can ask a question. It is $5 for yes or no and $10 for in-depth readings. Right now, we are going to do NC's reading. Okay. I sent a message to my old director about interest in working on his team. Does he end up hiring me? Oh, back. Okay. Let's see. Will this director do that? Yeah, it is really hot outside. I think last night it was like 80 degrees. And I'm like, wow, it's nighttime and it's 80 degrees. I like the heat, but sometimes I'm like, I prefer to be cooler at night. Just, oh, wow. Okay. A lot of cards flying for you, NC. It's 90. Woo. Where are you, Sierra? Ooh, I can't believe smoothies and iced tea are tied. Okay. Georgia. Oh, the South. That's why. Yeah, Georgia's hot. Okay. A lot of energy for this old director. Okay. We have the Hierophant. And we have the Fool. And we have the Four of Pentacles. That's very interesting because to me, with the Hierophant, it's like they're definitely considering it. But with the Four of Pentacles, I usually get that for somebody who is not willing to take a chance. Like they might feel like, I'm not really sure. And it's not really like there's anything wrong with you, but there's more hesitancy on their part because I think they are unsure maybe about how the dynamic would work, or because we have the Fool here and the Fool is just like, well, I don't know what to expect if you were to come and join our team. Would that be a change in the dynamics? What would that look like? It's hard for them to imagine. And not only that, but I usually get the Hierophant to be quite a stubborn card. Like the Hierophant doesn't want to change. They don't want to switch things around. Um, they're ready to just kind of stick to the what they kind of are used to at the moment. And I know you said that this is more so like this person would be hiring you back, but with the Fool here, it's almost like they want to invest in different people. And like I said, there's really nothing wrong with you. It's just so more this person is talking themselves out of it. It's like they're looking for any reason as to why this couldn't work, especially with this Four of Pentacles here. Let me pull this out. We have Justice here. They may get back to you. And then we have the Devil. But like I said, I don't think that this particular director wants to give you that opportunity. There's this element of fear, of, I'm trying to figure out what they're afraid of. Maybe I can get some clarification on that. We have the Seven of Swords. In their mind, they're a little bit paranoid, okay? They think that you may have some ulterior motive or something, or you might be sort of looking to just like advance your own agenda, or you're only thinking about yourself and how it'd be beneficial to you and not necessarily how it might be beneficial to the team. Like they're sort of like in this place of paranoia. Like I said, there's not really any reality to their fears here, especially with the Fool card here. To me, it's like they don't really know. They have no clue how things would go, what they would look like. But in their mind, they're like, oh, I just don't think things would work out. Really a lot of fear with this person. Maybe they just had some things that's happened to them in the past. Maybe, somebody has said some things about you, NC, and they're believing them. That can happen too with Justice and the Devil, where it's like, okay, this person kind of wants to do things their own way and they don't want any disruptions to how they have things planned, and they don't really have a good reason for it, but they just know that they rather keep things how they want it, how they envisioned it, how they pictured it. They don't want anything to stray or cause any differences. Sierra, I don't have any money today for the reading. That's fine. You could just come and hang out. But let me know, and see, did this director, did you leave your old job on in some kind of sudden circumstance, or were they kind of like iffy about it? Because sometimes, when you leave a job, even if you left and you gave your 2 weeks notice, sometimes people are just like really shady about it, or they feel like, oh, you're abandoning them, or they don't wish you well. They don't give you a good send off. They're just pretty like ungrateful. But let me know the circumstances surrounding that, because the way this person is thinking is almost like somebody has whispered something in their ear about you, especially since we have that Hierophant, the Devil card. It's like there's other people at play. See, I left because I had opportunity in a different department in the company. I left because the team was small and all the work was left on me. Oh, I see. But now it looks under control. I see. Maybe that's what the feeling is. Like they felt like, oh, this person has abandoned me and now they want to come back or something like that. Because the way they're seeing it is like, oh, this person left under some circumstances that weren't exactly I didn't like. Like that's the vibe that they have, or this person is only thinking about themselves. So I mean, it's not personal, it's business. I agree with you. I agree with you. I say still go for it. You know, maybe there's an opportunity you can convince them and give your reasoning. Maybe that will help. Because, like Tarot says, not everything is set in stone with Tarot. But like I said, it's almost like somebody was saying some things or got in their ear and tried to make the situation sound shady. Because that's what it reminds me of. It reminded me of like a friend I knew who did a lot of work at this company. And when they left, you know, the company didn't wish them well, didn't say goodbye, didn't do anything. They were just like, oh, you're abandoning us, blah, blah, blah. Like it was a very like shady feel, like something like that. And it's like you were just doing your job and you left. See, I mean, I'm selfish in my reasoning, so he's not wrong. I think, yeah, we all should be more selfish. Sometimes you have to look out for yourself. You shouldn't have to have all of that work put on you. You know, you don't need to make that sacrifice unless they're going to promote you or give you more money or something like that. Why would you be doing all of that work for free? Mm-hmm. So I agree with you, NC. But even if they don't hire you back, there's still more opportunities out there. People get butthurt. They really do. They really do. But I think you did the right thing. Ooh, let me get this. You're welcome. All right. Let me shuffle these cards real quick just to refresh them. And I'm going to briefly speak on Uranus and Taurus for those who are watching back. Oh, no, I got to do the weekly. You know, I got to do the weekly look ahead since I keep thinking that I'm scheduled to be here on the weekend because I'm so used to like, oh, pop up during the week, go on the weekend. Got to do the weekly look ahead now just in case I don't get the opportunity to do it this weekend. So let's do the weekly look ahead. If you remember, this week was the High Priestess, I believe, the Wheel of Fortune, and the Emperor. Yeah, 3 major arcana. Let me know if that was relatable to you and your circumstances this week. For me personally, 100%, there was a lot of reflection, some research done, and even some changes that will cause things to move forward in a different direction for me in my life, for sure. Like some major changes, which makes sense because they were all major arcana. And the Emperor representing stepping into your power. And that's exactly what I felt like I have done this week. Take charge of a situation that was stagnant. Without being too detailed, because I really can't be too detailed about it. But that's what happened for me. But let's see the collective week ahead. Look ahead for everyone, for all the astronauts here. Is Ice-T winning? Oh, no. Okay. So tie between iced tea and smoothie still. All right. I was going to be surprised. Not that iced tea is bad. You know, there's so many different iced teas. Okay. We already got the high priestess again. Okay. You know, maybe we can continue that high priestess energy. That high priestess energy is still coming in. More reflection, more time to think, more going into ourselves. Ooh, the Queen of Pentacles. That's a nice card for the next week. Looks like we're taking the time to take care of ourselves, also be generous to others, as well as basically have a bit of fun, have a bit of downtime. You know, I always get the Queen of Pentacles on days where I just have these long walks. And that's because that's something that I personally enjoy. And the Queen of Pentacles is all about, you know, enjoying things, especially if it's involved in nature, but generally could just be anything in particular that you enjoy and you want to indulge yourself in. So there's a lot of that energy coming up next week of feeling like we got to be stable. Let's be grounded. Let's take care of ourselves. Let's not fly off the handle here. Trying to create a peaceful environment for ourselves. Even if there's chaos around us, we're going to create those moments of peace. So that's what's coming next week. Let's pull one more card for the vibes of next week. 8 of Cups. Leaving stuff behind, whatever the case may be. Now it's following the Queen of Pentacles here. And so that can represent leaving a job behind, leaving a role behind, leaving certain duties behind, leaving a way of doing things behind, like a certain routine. You may have had a routine and you're like, oh, I'm kind of sick of this routine. I'm leaving that behind. Whatever the case may be. Some people might even literally be moving, but the 8 of Cups is just like, hey, like I'm ready to get out of here. And since Pentacles relate to the second house, it could be money, family, things you consume. So you might say, I'm leaving this diet behind. I'm no longer talking to this family member. The way I've been doing my finances is a little, let me leave that way of doing things behind. Or even it can represent paying off something. So if you've paid off a credit card, then that would say, okay, I'm leaving that situation behind. Then we have the 6th house of health and resources, and as well as coworkers and jobs and things along the lines of that. Rental properties as well when it comes to the 6th house. 6th house also represents pets. Hopefully we're not saying goodbye to any pets. That would be very sad unless it's just a short goodbye where you're like, oh, I'm going on vacation. I have to leave my pet at this facility that takes care of pets. I'm trying to remember what that's called. But I'm leaving my pet there. Hopefully it's that kind of situation. But yeah, this can represent moving. Hey, I've lived here for a little bit. I'm moving on to this next place where I found a nice, better apartment. This can represent, like I said, that you're leaving that daily routine that you've been in for a while behind. Like, let's say you're used to, you know, going to work, coming home and resting. You're like, now I'm going to try something different. Maybe I'm going to go out after work. Maybe I'm going to take a short break. I'm going to take a day off and just break up my schedule and try something different. Definitely 100% leaving that behind. In terms of health things, it can also represent leaving health concerns behind as well. I'm naming all the Pentacle things because it's following the Queen of Pentacles. And that is also part of the story when it comes to things that we are like, let's move on from this. And when we get to the 10th house in terms of Pentacles, earthly energy, and things along the lines of that, that's careers, purposes, goals, and things along the lines of that. So you may have had a goal in mind and envision a plan of how you had your future laid out for you. And you're just like, I'm over this. My partner and I are currently finished moving now. Wow. That is amazing. These cards are definitely for you, Chiron. But it's definitely where a lot of us are moving on from different things. So that's good to hear. It's good to hear, especially since after the High Priestess. So that's definitely a time of like, I thought this through. This is a good choice. Let's go someplace better. That's nicer. That's, you know, feels a little bit more stable, that makes me feel comfortable, that makes me feel cozy, that makes me feel mentally at peace. So I like to see these cards. I like to see these cards when it comes up for next week. So it sounds like this is going to be a quieter week, not going to be as impactful as this week might have been. But But yeah, it sounds good. It's good, at least I think. And let's show the cards again so you guys know what I'm talking about here with all of the energy. And that's the weekly look ahead. So you guys got to stop by next week and let me know how that is played out for you. Okay. All right. Let's shuffle these cards again. I hope everybody has been doing good. I know some people say Jupiter and Cancer really shook them up, especially since it's like squaring Saturn and Neptune. Other people have been saying how it's been amazing. There's been some benefits. Like Chiron just said, they're finishing up moving. So that's a positive thing that's happening. I've heard a lot of stories about moving, actually. So that actually might be a theme, which makes sense. It's in Cancer. Jupiter's in Cancer, right? That's all about your home. So it makes sense that there's been so many stories about moving and things along the lines of that. But that is actually really good to hear. One thing that I want to say when it comes to Jupiter and Cancer, I'm focusing on Jupiter and Cancer and not Saturn and Aries so much, or Neptune and Aries, because they're going to be there a little bit longer. So it's a longer story. But with Jupiter and Cancer, I will say Jupiter is a planet that represents not having boundaries, wanting to have more freedom and expansion, and saying, don't put your limitations on me. So if you're in a place that feels trapped, inhibited, that feels stuck, Jupiter's there to say, I'm going to release you from this, and I'm going to put you in a place that gives you an opportunity to make your wing to spread your wings. There we go. That's what I'm trying to say. So that is what Jupiter wants to do. It's like, what are you holding back for? Like, what are you playing by these rules for? Make up your own rules, you know? Like, be the creator of your own destiny. So Jupiter is going to do that. And it can be a hard lesson or it can be an easy lesson. But either way, Jupiter's coming there to free you. Okay. So it just depends on who you are, what your situation is. Now, Saturn and Aries, that's a longer story, okay? And that is all about self-empowerment, no longer accepting the breadcrumbs, okay? And you know how Saturn is. Saturn's pretty much going to teach you those hard lessons, unless you are very much by the book, doing pretty much everything you can do, right? Then Saturn will probably easily bless you and it's not going to be too impactful. But most people aren't perfect. So Saturn's going to come there and it's going to say, are you really accepting that behavior from someone? Are you really accepting that job? Why are you treating yourself this way? Because Saturn's in Aries. So it's all about, okay, how can I up level like my appearance and things along the lines of that, things focusing on health in a way, focusing on mental health as well, because Aries rules the head. So Saturn's like, why are you treating yourself that way? And it's going to make us transform, but that's a longer story. Saturn's going to be there for a really long time. Same with Neptune, especially with Saturn and Neptune. So that's all about making your dreams a reality and doing it now because it's in Aries. It's like, we don't have time to wait, get to it. Now, I wanted to say something about Uranus and Gemini before I left. Sorry, I have these notes here. See if I can find it. Might have to search. Okay. Yeah, this is long. All right. This is long. Okay. But one thing I'll say about the specific ranges when it comes to Uranus and Gemini, just to give a brief overview, is there's a lot of themes of war and national transformation. So the last time we had Uranus and Gemini, it was in 1861 to 1865, and that was the Civil War. And then we had World War II, which was 1941 to 1945. Uranus was in Gemini during those time periods. So there's these major themes of war when it comes to Uranus and Gemini, all about restructuring society, the economy. And it is to be noted that World War II did completely restructure American society and the economy. Same with the Civil War. I think we all knew that. The Civil War is obviously about slavery. The economy was based in slavery, especially in the South. So that changed and transformed the economy. Same with World War II. It gave the government a lot more power. The government was funding a lot of money into the economy as well into the war. That created a lot of jobs, that created a lot of contracts. Even now today, the government is the biggest holder of contracts when it comes to the United States. You know, that's why getting contracts with the government is so important. That's why you saw Elon Musk and Trump in the White House, because those government contracts can make or break your business. Okay. So it's very, very important to know that. So it gave the government a lot more power, and it transformed the American economy, made it more industrial, took it out of the depression. So there was a lot of transformation when it comes to that. As I said, speaking on federal power, when it came to the Civil War, this was actually the first time the government sort of like enacted its power, okay? By enforcing and saying to the South, you're not going to have slaves. The government didn't do that before, all right? The government let the states decide, you know, who would do what, when, where. This was the first time the government kind of like strong armed the states and said, this is not going to happen, which is why they went to war and obviously expanded government power. So you might expect this time with Uranus and Gemini, it could possibly expand federal power again. It's more than likely going to change the economy for another time. And it's also more than likely going to restructure social systems. So that is very, very important. Okay. So, you know, that's just something to note. And then we also talk about civil rights and social realignment. So we know slavery freed a lot of different people. And then also when we're talking about post-war, when we're talking about the World War II, post-war, this had to do a lot with focusing on the civil rights movement, because you had all of these Black soldiers of color who had fought in the war. And when they were overseas, they had a lot more rights and things along the lines of that. So they come back and they're just like, I have less rights in the country that I risked my life for. And so it starts, obviously, the civil rights movement, right? Definitely projected that forward. And during both of those times, there was obviously conversations about citizenship and rights, right? Because after you had freed the slaves, it was just like, well, are they citizens or are they not citizens, right? And then even post-Civil War, it's just like, well, they're citizens, but they have less rights, right? When we have the civil rights movement. And so now we're having even talks today when we're talking about immigrations and rights that illegal immigrants have. And that conversation is going to really expand over the next couple of years, I think 7 years, while Uranus is in Gemini. So keep that in mind. This conversation is not going away. It's not a throwaway. This conversation is going to more than likely lead to some laws that have to do with defining citizenship. When we had the civil rights era, not the civil rights era, when we had slavery ended, that's when we had the conversation when it came to birthright citizenship. That is when it became a part of the U.S. laws during Uranus and Gemini. Same when we had post-Civil War, we started having conversations about who had rights, like as a citizen in this country. Like we have this whole separate but equal thing, but it wasn't equal. All right. So it's redefining equality. And so those are the themes I've seen throughout Uranus and Gemini, and I wanted to share them. There's a lot more to it, but those were the main ones that came up when it came to what was I going to say? When it came to Uranus and Gemini. And then also I want to say that during this period, this is when the U.S. became a global superpower post World War II, around World War II, during that time period that I gave you. The U.S. became a superpower, and that really transformed the nation. And I should say that the United States birth chart has its Uranus and Gemini. So it makes sense that it became a superpower when Uranus and Gemini. Europe was destroyed, parts of Asia was destroyed, US had all the power. So there's a conversation when it comes to where does the US stand as a superpower when we have Uranus in Gemini. So that's what I want. That's what I want you to know. The past 2 times it's grown in being a superpower, but Who knows what things are going to go this time? We have no clue. We have no clue. We have no clue. But we know that's going to be the US's global dominance is going to be shifted during this time period, whether that's for better or worse. We'll know. But that's all I wanted to say. That's all I want to say. Look how long these notes are, guys. I should do a full video, but I don't have time for that. You know, I think I did a full one on Uranus and Taurus that should still be up. That I did film during the pandemic, where I talked about a lot of different structures and things that took place when the past times that Uranus was in Gemini, but that's what I wanted to talk about. So interesting. By the way, your form to sign up for July reading isn't working. Oh, I should say the form for private readings is, I think I said it in the video, but maybe I didn't make it clear. I'm going to put the form back up when at the end of July. Right now, I'm not taking any readings just because I have a lot going on. So I wanted to get used to my new classes and all the shifts in my schedules before that I brought up the private readings again. So they'll be back in July, like towards the end of July. I'm bringing the readings back up and I'm opening the form back up. So that's what I want to say. I'll put that in the description bar and say it should be open in July. I got to remember to do that for everything. I don't know if I put it on all the videos, but I put it on a few. Yes, keep checking in, Chiron. It'll definitely be there. I'm a woman of my word. Even if it's just for a week in July, I don't know how crazy this class will be. Some classes are kind of like, oh, this is manageable. Other classes is like, oh my gosh, you're taking up all my time. But hopefully the readings are back at least for the last week of July, you know. So be on the lookout. Be on the lookout. And you guys, let me know if you have any ideas for any readings that you want to see. I'm currently filming readings now for July. Obviously, I'm almost at the end of July when it comes to readings. So any readings that you want to see for August or anything along the lines of that, or any sort of themes that you want me to do. I did 2 months of themes. I did love. This month is urgent messages. Don't know if I'll do another theme until maybe December. Maybe I can do a December theme. We're obviously going to do look aheads at 2026 in December, but that's the normal. That's the normal stuff. But I would love to get your input on any ideas that you would love to see. Oh, Smoothies is winning. Yay. Love that. Absolutely love that. And don't forget to be on the lookout for next week's reading on Thursday. It will be there. Should be premiering at noon on Thursday Eastern Standard Time. I know you guys are all in different places in the world. I'm trying to think if I have any other announcements. The polls should be back towards mid-July, end of July, around the same time that I do the readings. So be on the lookout for the polls too. I'll probably poll you guys astronauts on different reading ideas that I have. This will be more about priority and the order. And then I'll probably do some for like random ideas. There'll be different ideas out there. And then I'll probably ask your questions on certain other things. I am trying to write a book on tarot. I want it to be a little bit different, like closer to my reading style, because you guys know I like to use more practical, real world examples, as well as go into the meanings of the tarot cards. For example, if you look at like my monthly readings, I think I did a reading, was it for June, where one of the placements was the Hangman for career. And so I tried to give more examples like, okay, you could be taking a vacation. You might get sick that day. You might, this can represent approaching your role or your work in a new, different way, or as well as trying to stop, implementing control when in the work environment. Like if you've been sort of talked over or people weren't listening to you, the Hangman is just like, I give up. So I try to implement like real world examples of what it can be. And that's what I'm going to try to do in my book. So I'm going to probably, ask you guys questions when it comes to that at some point in the year, at some point, more than likely towards the end. So I just wanted to throw that out there. If you see any questions like that, or if anyone watches this back, they can feel free to add their input and know that I would appreciate it and love it. I have something in my eye and it is like killing me. All right, we have 10 minutes left in the live. Hopefully next week I can pop up Thursday and on the weekend. We'll see. Next week is so chaotic. I feel like I'm always saying that at this point. I'm always saying that. I hope you guys are doing well. I hope everybody is feeling okay. Hope everything's going good and peaceful and everything's going according to your plans and you're accomplishing things and knocking things off your to-do list and, just having a happy and fulfilled life. That's all I want for you guys. Ugh, I gotta get this thing out of my eyes. Probably my eyelash. All right. Just gonna pull these cards here. All right, iced tea, smoothies, matcha. Smoothies has won. All right, we're gonna wrap up relatively soon. I'll wait here to see if there's any, last minute takers when it comes to this. You guys can join if you like. I'm so tired. Oh my goodness, I'm tired, guys. Ooh. It has been a tiring week. What is this goal? All right. Ooh, smoothies for the win. Ooh. Eyes are watering. All right. Venus, yeah. Is this a free read? No, Venus, yeah. Fortunately, it's not a free read. It is $5 for yes or no and $10 in depth. But who knows? Maybe I will do a free read for the end of the year. You're welcome. All right. My hair is doing its own thing. Can't control it. All right. Ooh. I'm sleepy. Wow. And I still have to pack. Vacation time for me. Well, not vacation, but sort of. Ooh. Goodness. All right, just a few more minutes. Check to see if there's any last minute people who would like to get a reading. If not, I will be back next week on the weekend and maybe a pop-up during the week. We shall see. Woo. Excuse me. Wow. I did not realize I was so tired. It has been a long day. It has been a long day. I don't know why I said that twice, but it needed to be said twice, I guess. Oh, wow. Okay. Whew. Okay. Oh, gosh. Wow. Okay. All right, guys. All right. I think we're going to close out before I fall asleep on camera. And I hope you all have a lovely weekend. And thank you for stopping by. And I hope you have a lovely week that is beautiful, transformative, peaceful, and wonderful. And I think that is all that I have to say for now. Don't forget to watch the latest reading on my channel. This month's theme is urgent messages, and you are receiving an urgent message from your future self. So go ahead and check that out if you are interested. Next week, we are in July. So it's a new vibe. No more urgent messages. Well, not to say no more ever, but there will be no more, at least for the time being. We're switching back to our normal pace. We had 2 months of theme meeting readings. We had love, we had urgent messages, and now we're getting back into the normal vibrations. Things that you can look forward to next month is that the polls will be back. At some point in that month, the polls will be back. So look out for them. I'm going to be polling you guys on videos you want to see, maybe even random things like I do on the live. So look out for that type of thing that's going on. And we also have, at the end of the month, I will be opening up private readings again. So if you're interested in that, go ahead and feel free to check the description bar. It will be open towards the end of the month. I'm going to keep repeating that, and try to update my description bar for all the videos so you guys can know that private readings will be available at the end of the month. And what else do I want to say here before I go? Don't forget to check out next week's reading. Hopefully you like it. If you have any ideas or videos you want to see, then you can place that in any sort of comment, or you can email me, you can message me. Don't hit me on social media yet because I'm still transferring my phone and everything like that. And what else do I want to say for you all? I think that is it. I think that's all I have to say for now. Thank you all for coming to the live, and I hope to see you all next time, next week, where I will be live on the weekend as usual. Au revoir.